Well, it was Aaron Spelling once again and calling me up for yet another project. The one thing he did do, he called me a lot. And a lot of times I said no because it was just going to be these girly things, and you know. So at this time, I really was at the top of my career. I really didn't want to do this show. I had no interest in working for Aaron again. And I could just hear it, because I could hear it. He wanted to do a show about nurses, and instantly I knew Aaron's mindset. Naked nurses getting out of the shower, getting in bed with somebody, you know, and I said, oh God, no, I don't want to do this. But then I talked to two people, one of whom talked me into it, and I wanted to kill him for doing it. And I said the famous lines he keeps repeating to me, my friend Frank Fiorino. He said, you said it to me and I didn't believe you. I said, you made me take this project. Now just pay attention. This is the honeymoon. Wait till you see the divorce. And it was that. And he keeps repeating this quote to me all the time. So I said, what the hell? If Aaron wants me and I don't want to do it, I'm going to take as much money as I can get and put my friends on it and my son. So Howard and Frank and I created that show. But we created the show we wanted to do, which was a damned interesting show. It was with mysteries on it, and even though the women were nurses, there was a lot of medical stuff, but there was everybody who came into this Nightingale house where they all lived came with a backstory that was really interesting. We had great stuff to write. And then it all fell apart because of Aaron. And then of the truth of reading this book 3 years later that was written about the show, where this writer actually stayed with Aaron every minute of the show, through every meeting at the network, through everything. And I had no idea what was going on behind our backs. Because Aaron was trying to turn it into... And the irony is, Aaron was really ahead of his time. That show could have been on Showtime any time, the show he wanted. But it was too soon. And people were appalled because you didn't insult nurses the way he was insulting them. And so I got fired. And Frank got fired, and I guess Howard must have gotten fired too. And they went on, and it lasted 2 years, and it was thrown off the air. It was literally thrown off the air because people were going on television and saying, this is disgusting. And the Catholic Church was really up in arms, and I said, oh, that's good. And I didn't care anymore. I was out of there. And that was the end of my career.
So that was the second time, basically, that Aaron Spelling had released you of your duties as creator.
Yes, he released me lots of times. He asked me, and a lot of times when I said no. It was a relationship, a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had that with a lot of people. He was a really interesting man. Very, very interesting, because he was so smart. And he knew exactly what he was doing. And he did do a series that didn't last very long, called Family, that was really terrific. If you didn't call me to do that one, I would have loved to have done that one. It was a very good show, with meaningful things in it, but it didn't last. So Aaron went back to what he knew how to do.
So now you said this was the end of your career.
Yeah.
How so? I mean, were you...
It was a strike.
Okay.
And the strike did something very interesting. The networks were trying to save money, so they got rid of every writer who made too much money, and I was on that list. And I couldn't get a job after that. And I was being told by secretaries in offices that they listened in meetings, and my name would be mentioned to write, and they would say I was too old. So that was the end of it. So I was out of television.